So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to the maiden lecture of ACC 401, Department for Accounting, Federal University of Technology, Akure. This is essentially going to be a revision class, since all of us have taken the course before, and all we need to do is perfect areas where we had wrongs in the past so that we can now succeed. And I will advise that all of us put in sufficient efforts so as to be able to augment areas where we lacked sufficient knowledge in the past. And I pray that God will help us out. By way of attendance, we have Abang already in class, 8971. We have Moyosori already in class, 4611. We also have Anu Oduakpo, who has always been in class but presently not audible. We cannot
Yes,
hear
sir.
her. So as soon as she
Yes,
comes,
sir.
the last 4 digits of your matric number is what?
8998.
89
98.
8998.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So our first topic, which I have sent to you as you will see in the notification, is on company accounts. The syllabus requires that we revise company accounts, and that we are going to do in this lecture. In our subsequent lectures, we are going to build our topics around the previous examination questions. We may not be covering the entire lecture series, but we'll gently identify areas of interest and use our past questions, which I've already sent to you, to illustrate them. Make sure that we have some understanding, sufficient understanding, to enable us come for the test and the subsequent exams that will follow. Is that okay by us? Is that arrangement satisfactory by us?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
we are asked to look at company accounts. We are asked to revise company accounts. Uh, company accounts is a whole lot. There are some basic aspects of it which relates to lower levels, which we may not be concentrating upon. And there are some elements of it which are of continued relevance at any level. And those are the areas which we'll be looking at. So I want to remind you what a company is, another form of business other than partnership and sole trading, which has separate features other than those ones which those ones have. What we are saying is that a limited liability company is distinguished from other forms of businesses by virtue of its ability to exist uh, independent of the owners of the business, and therefore it is a separate legal entity. You will need to revise, for instance, what are the requirements for company formation, what types of companies there are. You need to know that. What are the differences between limited companies and other forms of businesses? You need to read over that and understand that. The capital structure of a company, there are types of capital which you have there. You have the ordinary share capital, you have the preference share capital, and then you have other sources of finance which a company may enjoy, which is a debt capital. Okay, for the ordinary shares, you have the funders shares, and for preference shares, you have the cumulative preference shares and non-cumulative preference shares. Differences between them must be understood by you by way of revision. We are not going to look into that. Now, talking about share capital of a company, you know that a share is a unit of the capital of a company. If the capital of a company is 100,000 naira, it has to be divided into a number of shares, maybe 100,000 shares of 1 naira each, or 20,000 shares of 5 naira each. There will be a basis for dividing those shares into units. So a share is a unit of the capital of a company. And the capital of a company again has many descriptions. You talk of the authorized capital, which is the capital registered in the memo of the company, beyond which the company cannot issue. Then the issued capital, the portion of the authorized capital which has been issued. The unissued capital, the portion which is yet to be issued. The called share capital, portion of the issued capital already called by the owners. The uncalled capital is the portion of the capital which has not been called. Paid up capital is the portion of the called capital which has been paid by the subscribers. And cost in arrears or unpaid capital is the portion which were called but not paid by the subscribers. The accounting entries having to do with the issue of shares is contained in the 6301, and that you are supposed to revise very well. I will not be wasting my time on that. Of course, an advanced concept of this issue of shares is a case whereby you have forfeiture of shares, and those forfeited shares are again reissued. You do well to be conversant with those aspects as well. All of these things which I'm talking about are in one of the notes which I sent to you, the 6301 lecture note, which you have, is addressing all of those. What we interest us now is the financial statements of a limited liability company. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. If at any point you have questions to ask, please intercept the discussion and ask your questions. Okay, like I was trying to say, the financial statements of a limited liability company, there is basically no difference in the bookkeeping processes of all forms of businesses. That is, the way a sole trader keeps his records is the same way that partners keep their records. It is the same way that companies also keep their records when you talk of bookkeeping. But it's not the same way in which they prepare their financial statements. The bookkeeping records consist of the subsidiary books and the ledger. All of those ones are maintained using the same principles across all forms of businesses. It doesn't matter the kind of business that it is. But when it comes to presenting the financial information in the form of financial statements, then there are certain peculiarities to each of those entities which make their presentation differ from one and another. So we are going to zero down on the issue of the corporate accounts now. Ordinarily, all of you should be able to prepare a profit and loss account, otherwise called income statement, and a balance sheet, otherwise called statement of financial position, from a set of trial balance of a limited liability company. Can't you? Can't you?
It should be.
Can you do P&L and balance sheet from a trial balance of a limited liability company, or you cannot?
I can do it to some extent, to be sincere.
Anu, can you?
I can do it, sir.
Mo rò pé tó ti sá lọ ni. Mo yọ afa.
No, I mean,
Yes, I can do it to an extent.
There should not be any extent at all. When given a simple trial balance, all of us should be able to do a sort of financial statement. Let's look at what the components are. Starting with the income statement, which we formerly know as a profit and loss account. There are two sides. There are two aspects of that statement: the trading account section and the profit and loss account section. The trading section has to do with determining the gross profit and nothing more, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And how do we
Yes,
obtain
sir.
the gross profit?
yes, sir.
It is given as turnover minus cost of sales.
Minus cost is
Turnover minus what? Cost of sales.
cost of sales.
What does
Turnover
it
is
yeah.
total sales less return inwards. That's what we give you turnover. When you deduct returns from sales, you have turnover. So that's what the word turnover means. Otherwise, turnover and sales can be interchangeably used. If you say net sales will refer to sales minus sales returns, which is turnover. So net sales minus cost of sales. And you know, cost of sales will not be direct, especially when there are stock balances. If there's opening stock and closing stock, cost of sales will not be direct. If there's no opening stock and closing stock, sales minus purchases will give you gross profit, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
when there
sir.
are stock balances, then you now say opening stock, add purchases,
This
less
is
closing stock. Then you will
stock
have your cost of sales. You have your
sales.
cost of sales. So when you take that cost of sales away from sales, you have the gross profit. That's the trading account. The excess of the trading account is to obtain the gross profit.
The gross profit.
Then when you have obtained the gross profit, you now go to the profit and loss account section. You bring the profit down and you deduct operational expenses. Deduct what? Operational expenses. Operational expenses are expenses
Operational.
of non-capital nature. Expenses of non-capital nature, revenue expenses which are recurrent. expenses which are incurred on a day-to-day basis in running the business. Who can give examples of such operational expenses?
Transportation.
Transport and travels. That's one.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, sundry expenses.
What did you say it is?
Salary and wages.
Electricity
Somebody,
and lighting.
Anu said
Salary and
something.
wages. Sundry expenses.
You
You have
said
not even
sundry
mentioned the major ones. You
expenses.
are going to
Sundry
sundry.
expenses.
Where are the major ones before you go to sundry? Sundry means miscellaneous. Every other expenses.
Salary
The
and
major ones are yet to be mentioned. Anyway, you are okay.
salary.
Salaries and
Advertising.
wages,
Electricity.
all right. Who is saying electricity?
Electricity and lightning.
That's a Moyo Abi.
Yes, sir.
Clap for yourself. Let me hear. So those are operational expenses. I am sure you'll be wondering, what about depreciation? Depreciation normally is not an operational expense, but it's also an operational expense because it is capital in nature. You understand? It's a capital expenditure. You are looking at an asset, a fixed asset or a non-current asset, which can be used in the entity for about 5 years. If you charge the entire cost of the asset to 1 year's account, you will be distorting the profit figure for that year. If the asset has a useful life for 5 years, it means that for every year, a portion of its usefulness should be charged against the cost of rendering or of obtaining the income for that year. Is it making sense to us?
Yes, sir.
That is what brings about depreciation. It is the loss in value of a non-current asset in a given accounting period, and it is part of the costs which is incurred to make that to earn that income for that particular year. So of course you have depreciation as well. And there are some other expenses again that may be in the payroll account, which are not of recurrent nature. Some of them may include capital expenses like loss on the sale of fixed assets. Loss on the sale of fixed assets. You sell a fixed asset at a loss. You write it to profit and loss account, but it's not a recurrent expense. So all these three categories of expenditures are in the P&L account before you can obtain your net profit. What are those
Profit.
three categories of expenditure? The normal recurrent expenses, the loss in value of fixed assets by way of depreciation, and other capital losses, with like disposal, loss of disposal of assets. All of those ones can be in the P&L account. When you now deduct all of those expenses from the gross profit, what do you now have? The net profit. The net profit for the year. That is the net profit for the year. That net profit is before appropriation. It is before appropriation. The profit for the year is obtained. You add profit from previous year to it. Profit carry forward from previous year, you add it to it. You now have total profits available to the company. You can now go into your preparation. How much are you transferring to reserves? How much are you giving to owners as dividends? How much are you capitalizing by way of capital reserves? And some other things like that, which how much of it do you want to spend on bonus issue of shares? All of those things are things for which capital expenses profit and loss account balance can be used by way of preparation. Then when you have assembled all your preparations, you now take them away from that total profits. You don't have the retained profits to be carried forward, to the next year again. So it is that retained profit that you are carrying forward that now goes to the balance sheet or statement of financial position. Anyway, you will need to take an assignment to enable us see how far you are doing by way of revision on that area of business. I want to look at your question, your notes, and see the question which I'm going to ask you to do. Okay. There is this. There is this. There's question number 5. There is question number 5. Question number 5. Question number is it 6? Let me see. Yes, questions number 5 and 6. Questions number 5 and 6. Can you see them in your practice in your SCC 301 questions? Those answers on pages 390 and 391. 390 and 391. Can you see them?
Sir, the textbook.
I've sent it to you.
Okay.
I sent. Let me see if I can project it to you. You see the textbook scanned note which I sent to you. The 6301 company account. I'm trying to project it now so that you can
Okay.
possibly see it. Uh, let me
Page.
see if I can share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sorrow.
Yes, sir.
That one is not. It's not here. Oh. This one ends on page 363. Why is it
Yes,
not there
yes,
now?
sir.
The copy which you need is not this. You need a more advanced one. I'm sure you have that one. I must have sent that to you before, isn't it? Uh, you still don't. Let me see.
Maybe share for send it.
Company accounts. If I cannot find that one, then I may scan the remaining that question which I have in mind. I may scan it to you and then let you attempt it by way of revision for that topic. Anyway, do you have questions on company accounts generally which you want me to attend to before you take your assignment question? Anything bothering you on company accounts which you want us to look at? No question, Abby. Everything
No
looks okay,
question.
isn't it?
No
If
questions
you
at
check
all. No
if you check
question.
your previous notes and you find some of my materials which I sent to you from that my book, just go to pages 390 to 391 there and you see questions 5 and 6 which you want to attempt. Meanwhile, I will also endeavor to get them across to you. Is that okay by us?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm sure you
Thank you.
have so many pages of that book, including the one I'm talking about. So many topics of it are with you. It is because I lost my phone that those notes are not there readily. Otherwise, they would have been found there. But because I lost them, when I restored them, the attachments did not return with it. If the attachments had returned with it, I should have found it. I'm searching for Lawrence now. Maybe one of those. Eh? I'm searching for Lawrence. Maybe some of those notes are in his on his page for where. Okay, maybe. Uh, anyway, do you have questions, please?
Not no from this end.
Not now.
No question
Then when you see that question
from
that
this.
I am sending to you, just pick one of it. All of you should agree as a group and pick one of it, either 5 or 6. Then when you agree on the one you have chosen, do it in the old way, then again do it in the new published accounts format, in the normal presentation method, where you will use the functional classification of expenditure. What do you call it? Admin expenses, distribution expenses, finance expenses. The normal presentation that has statement of changes in capital, changes in equity. So do it normally, then do it in the published accounts format. I'll be looking for both. At this stage of your lecture, that's the method to use for presentation. So that's what we will be expecting you to do. I can see some notes under Lawrence page now. I will be checking them to see if what I'm looking for is there. And when I find it, I will surely send it to you today. So, and some other things which we need to look at there. I'll be checking for those as well. Uh, let me see. I'm trying to open one now. If it is, I will just share it with you. Possibly you can. Okay, that looks like it. Okay, I have found it. Let me see if I can send it to you straight away. So if there are no questions, we are getting close to the end of the lecture now. We are not happy with those who refuse to join the class, you know. Or are you happy with them?
Oh no, Ogundele Stephen messaged me on WhatsApp that he has not downloaded the app. I was even ashamed of him.
Gundele, àwọn alágbára
Stephen,
nìyẹn.
that he has not downloaded the app. The app that we have been making use of since 300 level.
Can you imagine that? The app that has been in use since
200 or 300.
who knows when. And we gave notice that this lecture we hold now, didn't we?
You should have downloaded it even if you didn't have it. Because
He said he's trying to download it, but it's not working out. So that maybe that should be next time.
Wahala.
Ó dáa o.
I called Tosin and Tega. They didn't pick my call, and I know they are online.
Ó dáa o. Ọlọ́run afọlágbára wọn ní sùúrù o.
Amen.
Àbí what do we do? I'm trying to open. Okay, let me operate from here. I'm trying to send. Let me send this to you. Where you will find that question, and then we can. It will be sent now. I don't know. The Zoom class is preventing me from opening WhatsApp for Lawrence. So, and I don't want to make it affect your reception. But you will get it now through my computer transfer. It is titled the CC 401 Lecture 2 PDF. Almost received. Maybe it's a fairly big file. It is taking its time, but it will soon end. So, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as it is received, it will be sent to the group for your attention. The questions which I require are there. I have confirmed, and then you will do well to read through the entire work. Read through the entire work. Anybody who is lacking in any aspect of basic company accounts can study that those two lecture notes. If there are questions, let me know. All your questions are better sent to the group so that others can benefit from the responses which emanate from them. Is that okay? Hello?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Adam.
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you, sir. I'm with you, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. We are
so
here.
what we do now, uh, we will end the class now, and then I'll be sending to you the recording of this lecture so that you can also go through. And for those absentees, in fact, left to me and the absentees, I won't send the recorded version because they will stay away next time again and be waiting for the recording. I'm sure you are aware that attendance carries marks. Hmm. Assignment carries marks, attendance carries marks. All of them will be put together for your
Yes, sir. Yes,
assessment.
sir.
Okay. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Thank you that we call you and you
Thank
come.
you, sir. Thank
When
you,
when
sir.
when we call you
Thank you,
next
sir.
time, we hope you will also come.
Turn up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So see you next time. Bye bye.
Yes, sir. Take
Yes,
care, sir.
sir.
Yes.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Yes,
Bye.
sir. Have a nice day.
The election notice ready now. It will be sent to you immediately now.
Bye.
Hmm.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Bye.